I was born in 1961. I'm 64 years old. I've been lifting weights for over 50 years. And right now, this is what I look like, this is what I lift like, and this is how I do it. I've already done one video about my training and the exercises that I do and why I do them. This one is about programming, the how much, the how often. Now, the most unusual thing about my training is that I work out every single day. I keep a logbook. I'm putting some pages up now. You can see from the dates that they're sequential. I don't take days off. I don't take days off because I don't want to. I like going to the gym. I also don't do light days or that deloading, whatever the hell that was for a while. Because if I go into the gym with the plan of doing a light day, well, yeah, that's like throwing a ball for a dog. In 5 or 10 minutes, it's turned into a heavy day. So there's no point. Now, obviously, this is going to create some issues in terms of overtraining. So how do I cope with that? Well, what I've done is I've broken my body up into 4 parts. They're fairly conventional: legs, chest, back, shoulders. Those are the 4 workouts. That's the order I do them in. And by having those 4 workouts, I have enough time to recover between each body part that I train. As for the rest of the way I work out, it's pretty conventional. I start focusing on strength in a workout and then move towards physique. I try and get to at least 80 or 90% of my 1 rep max for whatever body part I'm training, and I try and do about 4 to 8 sets. I don't really have any plan. I mean, I know what I'm going to do when I go there. The exercises kind of picked up, and I do use my logbook. I flip back and forth, to see what I did before. But basically, I train until I feel sufficiently beat up for the day. And if not, I'll do a little more, do a different exercise. And if I have, it's time to stretch out and go home. So the specific workouts I do, I'm going to start with legs because legs are the foundation of everything. And back squats are the foundation of legs. So yes, back squats are my primary leg exercise. I start with 135 for 15, 225 for 10, 315 for 5. This is a fairly normal workout. They do vary a little bit. And by the time I'm at 315, that's when I'm into my 80% because my back squat right now is around 4 plates. So 315 it's 80%. So 315 for 5, 345 for 5, 365 for 5. The 365 for 5 is really that target set that I'm looking for with back squats. That is a 405 1 rep max equivalent. And that's the one I want to be hitting now. I don't like going up to 1 rep maxes. They're just too damn tiring over time. And the 365 for 5, I think, does a lot more for me. Now, one thing that you will not see in my squat routine or my leg routine at all is a lot of reps. And that's because squats are so demanding that I find when I start doing reps, I just get so much collateral involvement. I really don't get the sense of concentrating on my legs, my hips, my back, my core. What I get is just beat up. It may be different for someone else, but I find that really kind of training strength for legs is the way to do both strength and physique. So there's no real physique portion in my leg training. After I finish back squats, which is I pretty much done the work I need for the day, I do some front squats, and I do those mostly for technique and comfort so that, I feel okay doing them. As I said, I've done my strength training. Then I do some clean pull deadlifts, and clean pull deadlift just means less weight than a deadlift, more weight than a clean pull. And I do those again, primarily for the feel. There is a little bit of a difference there, but again, the back squat builds my strength, and these other 2 exercises are mostly to maintain familiarity, comfort, technique, form with those lifts. And that pretty much is my leg workout. So chest. I said in my previous video that barbell bench press, dumbbell bench press both work well. I like dumbbell bench press because I can position my hands how I want. I don't need a spotter, and I get very even development left to right. The most unconventional thing about the way I'm doing my chest, and this is kind of a lot of my stuff other than legs, is that I will start with a ton of reps. I know you're not supposed to tire yourself out, but over time, your body responds differently. I've gotten conditioned to it. I can get away with doing it. I like doing it. I want that first set. Right as soon as I walk in the door, I want to be doing something hard. So my first set is 50-pound dumbbells for 65 reps. popping them out. I use speed a lot of times to enhance the strength aspect of a lift. So I'm really popping them out. 60 or so reps, then on to 70 pounds for about 30. And again, still pretty much popping them out. 80 pounds for 15 to 20, getting a little more control there, partially because the weight is heavier. I need to control it more, but also because I'm moving more, really focusing more on the strength. And then 90 for 10 or 12 and 100 for 5. And sometimes I'll do multiple sets with 5 at 100. Maybe I'll go up to 105. But at that point, I'm definitely into the strength portion of my workout. And when I'm done with that, maybe depending on what I do, I might do one lighter set to finish off, or I just might do the heavy stuff and boom, that's it, done. On to my next. And my next is chest presses, hammer strength chest presses. I love the damn things. They allow me to concentrate very, very much on the muscles I'm working. And that means I'm very much into the physique portion of my workout. Now, I will incorporate some strength aspects into this, but it really is much more physique focused that I'm doing when I get to that point. And 3 to 5 sets of 2 to 3 exercises. And that's pretty much it. That's usually when I get to that point of, oh yeah, I've done enough. I'm beat up. I've had it for the day and I'm ready to go. Again, like I said, no specific numbers. I'm adjusting according to each day as I'm there at the gym. Back is kind of a little weird because no free weights, all machines. I alternate which machine I do first. I do a row, I do a pull down, and I do something in between. And the first one is the one that's going to have the most strength, the greatest strength element to it. And then as I move through them, I get more towards physique, doing more reps. And the last one, over the last few weeks, I've been doing a lot of just reps. I mean, the lowest rep count was 12 on the last set. Again, following that pattern of with the lighter weights, really making a move, the heavier weights, concentrating more on the motion. And probably about 15 reps or so, 15 sets or so. And this one I think more than anything with back is the one where I'm very much judging how my body's reacting when I decide I've had enough. And I go until I feel fatigued. As I said, it's going to come out to about 15 or 16 sets, something like that. But I get there and I'm done. It's time to move on to stretching out and going home again. The shoulders. Shoulders are kind of my baby. And that's because when I was a kid, I saw Vasily Alexiev, the Russian bear, back in 1970, put 500 pounds over his head. And I've just been impressed by shoulder presses ever since. And I love them and I do them. And that is my primary exercise. Lots of reps on this one. And this is somewhat of a concession to being older and having some issues with my shoulder and mostly on my right shoulder and elbow. So I'll start with an empty bar for 100 reps. And the thing about that is shoulders are really a power muscle. They're not an endurance muscle. So they respond very well to getting the crap beat out of them. And that 100 reps with 45, yeah, I feel it. I really do. The next set is going to be 75 pounds. The gym I go to has 15-pound plates, which I like because they divide evenly into 45. And I'll do that for 60 reps and then 105 for 30. After that, I'm starting to go more towards push presses. And when I do the reps, I'm only going to my chin. If I bring the bar down to my shoulders, I put a little knee kick in it because it does kind of strain my shoulder right off the bottom. So I do a little bit of a push press if I'm bringing it down all the way to my shoulders. And I will go up to about 155 for 8 reps or something like that. I also hold them at the top. Just I find you get a little bit more out of that. That's that squeeze at the top. That's also kind of with the back. Should have said too. I squeeze that when I get in that locked position, all the way drawn back, like doing a row. I hold that on the last rep before I put it down. So up to about 155. I'm putting the pages up so you can see what I'm doing. Sometimes I'll throw in a behind the neck press, a few behind the neck presses afterwards, just because I like the way they feel. I think they're really good and underrated shoulder exercise. Just be a little careful with them, as with everything really. After that, some reverse dumbbell or machine flies, and that is mostly to put a little break in there. Yes, it's working my rear deltoids, but my rear deltoids get a lot out of my lats already. And then I do front plate raises. And the front plate raises are pretty much the isolation accessory exercise I do. It's about the only one. And I saw these on TikTok. I love them. They work really well for me. I like the way they feel. I do 45 for 10 and 25 for 10 as a drop set. Do about 4 sets of those, and that's it. That's usually my shoulders have said, yeah, okay, we've had enough. So that's it. That's my training program, my protocol, if you want to call it that. It's like my exercises, fairly conventional, nothing outrageous. Get in there, get heavy, get something done. About the only unusual part is that I train every day. And that is my own personal weirdness. That's not something I would suggest to anyone. Now, I know some people are going to be put off by the ambiguity that I don't have specific sets, reps, exercises written down. But understand, I've been doing this for over 50 years. I got this shit down. I got it memorized. I don't need to write anything down anymore. And I would also argue that you need ambiguity. You are going to change over the years as a strength athlete. And even just day to day, you're going to have better days and worse days. You need some flexibility. And I would say, looking at what I've been able to do with this, it's been working really well for me. Hopefully, you'll get something out of this, something out of my experience that will work well for you. Enjoy the video? Let me know. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.